Hello students, today we are going to learn about Linux operating system. So let's start. Now, it is a family of operating system created by various companies, organizations and individuals. So many of them have come together and they have formed this operating system. Linux is an open source operating system, so we can download it easily without having to pay any amount of money. It is created using free software philosophy. So free softwares people can use and people can change also. It is open source. This type of this operating system allows user to program their own features and fix problems. So whenever we want that the operating system should have some new feature or the features which are already existing have problems, then we can make some changes also. Now, the GNU or Linux, it is the backbone of internet. So most of the things which are working on the internet, they are using Linux-based commands. The most popular GNU Linux distribution is Ubuntu. There are two ways in which we can interact with the computer that has Linux operating system. The first one is graphical user interface. This means just as Windows, we can see some icons, we can see dialog boxes and we can access it like we do in Windows. Ubuntu GUI is known as GNOME. The next type in which we can interact with this operating system is CLI. CLI stands for Command Line Interface. In this type, we have to type the commands on the terminal. If we are using command line interface, then we type certain commands to get the work done. Default CLI on Ubuntu is known as Bash. This is about the Linux operating system, how they work. Let us understand few of the commands which are used in Linux. Now these Linux commands we can type on the terminal. The commands are who am I? It is going to print the working directory. Next one, pwd. It is going to print the working directory. Next is lscpu. It is going to tell the information about the CPU. Next, ls. It is going to list the directories which are present in the current directory. Next is mkdir. It will create a new directory. cd, changing the new directory. Touch, it is used for creating a file. Nano, it is going to open a text editor. Cat, it is going to print the contents of the file. rm, it is going to remove the files and directory. Clear, it is going to clear the complete terminal and give us only the prompt. Echo, if we want to display some message on the terminal, we can use echo command. Students, all these commands will be taken in the practical class. Next, we have to study about the file system hierarchy. In Linux operating system, everything is considered as a file and all the different files are stored in a directory structure. So let us understand how this structure works. At the top, we have a root directory. This root directory stores all the files. All of the files which are present, all of the folders will be present inside the root directory. /bin directory is going to store essential programs. The slash over here is indicating a directory. /dev, it is going to store all the connected devices. All the internal devices, temperature sensors, batteries, all the devices, they will be stored in this directory in a form of a file. /etc. This is going to store all the system configuration files. Next, /proc. This is used to store file that provides information about processes. The information like how much RAM is free or how the CPU is running. So all this information will be stored here. Next, /tmp. Temporary files are stored here. Last one, /home. This is the user's home directory. all our files that we are going to create are going to be stored in this directory. There are many more directories which are present in the file system hierarchy. These are the few of them. Next, we are going to see what are the uses of GNU Linux, or why are we learning Linux. Firstly, Linux is free and open source. So whenever we are going for an operating system, here we are getting free and open source system. It means we can make the changes. If we want, we can distribute it, we can make any changes in the code, we can adjust it according to our need. Second, Linux operating system is free from virus. There is no need for installing any kind of antivirus. Linux operating systems are very much secured. The users are free from the trouble of updating virus definition and checking unknown USB. Many a times, antivirus softwares, they often give a false alarm. However, when we are using Linux operating system, we don't have to worry about any of this. Next, easy to keep software updated. Linux distributions are mostly free softwares, so it keeps a track of all the softwares through repositories. Now, repositories are basically collection of software for Linux distribution on server. The package manager updates the operating system as well as the softwares periodically, so we don't have to worry about the updates. Next, Linux is flexible and easily customizable. The user can change the desktop, position of the menu, status bar, style, the default file manager, icon theme, and we can customize everything in this Linux operating system. And lastly, excellent support. There are thousands of forums and millions of people which are ready to help open source software users. Each distribution has its own community of users and they help each other. Hence, we get a lot of people in support. So, we have seen the uses of Linux, and uses are nothing but why do we need Linux. We have also seen the file system hierarchy in Linux. We have studied a few commands. These commands we will be learning in practical also, and we have seen a basic introduction of Linux operating system. Thank you.